Hello, welcome to Making Monday. We're going to be painting a rock today. I chose a large one I wanted to go ahead and get in the Christmas spirit and do a Christmas scene on it, and I wanted a rock large enough for my tree. But when you're painting rocks, you can do any size, any shape. It does not matter. I've seen the cutest things come out of the weirdest shaped rocks. They take a life of their own, and then you know what you are going to do with them. So all you need to do is just grab your rock and some paints and have some fun with it. That's the main thing. For this, I always use acrylic paint and I use acrylic sealer. I think that it's a medium that works best on rocks. It's easier to work with. It's what I have as a personal favorite. But you can find whatever you find works best for you. I also like it because it's water-based. It's easy to clean your brushes. I have my brushes here. A lot of people have more professional components, and you can too. But for doing my paint, I like a paper plate because you have a larger amount of area. You can just mix your colors, do what you want to do, put as many colors on here as you want. And then when you're done with your project, you can throw that thing away. You don't have to go through the cleaning because, honey, cleaning your brushes is going to be enough. And if you can take a shortcut somewhere, then I'm all for it. It makes life happier. I use just generic acrylic paints. You can get any type from Walmart, from any store that you want to get them from, any craft store. And I have my little trusty cheapo plastic cup of water because, again, once you get done, if you need to chuck it, you can. It makes it a little bit easier dealing with the cleanup and the mess. The first thing that I like to do whenever I am painting a rock is I like to have a base on the rock because I think that it helps it to, for me to put what I want on the rock a little bit better. I'm a little bit kind of spoiled to doing this, so I usually will cover the rock with white paint first and give me just a good base of and it helps the paint to apply to the rock smoother. I think if you have it a little get in the nooks and crannies, and then it'll take the paint for what you're actually putting on your rock a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. So I just paint my rock until I have it totally covered, the face of it totally covered with the paint. And this will, can take you a few minutes, but just keep on at it, and I just smear that paint on there. No right or wrong way to do it, as I said. And we'll continue to say it's all about having fun with your project. It's about what you're liking to do, what you're wanting to do. Just have an idea in mind, see where it takes you. I just like to smooth it on there. Just get my lines as even as possible, full in the nooks and crannies. Gives you a good base to work with. I'm sure that other people have multiple techniques. There's no right or wrong way. As I've said, it's all about personal preference. What makes you happy, what works best for you and for your project, and what you're wanting your outcome to be, what you're wanting to see in the end. I just find it's a little easier to do this. Some people don't want to do this because, if they're not going to have white in their background, then they don't want to have to worry about having it there to contend with to begin in the beginning of what they're painting. I just think it's a little easier for me. But and you can do, if you're doing a dark scene, you go ahead and if you want to cover your rock with whatever you want to, with any other color, then feel free. It's all about what your project needs and what you're wanting to do with it. Some people paint the entire rock. Some people paint around the edges and to the sides. Some people will paint this side and then paint the back side. It's all about your project, personal preference, whether or not you want to spend the time doing that, whether or not your project and your rock in the picture that you're going to put on it needs that. It all comes down to just what your project calls for. This one I'm just going to do to the edges, and I'm going to keep it a little rough to kind of have it a little bit of a snowy appearance. So we'll see where we're going with this. I have a little bit of an idea in my head, but it always changes. So we're going to see where we end up with this little beauty. Take my paintbrush, swish it in my water. Ooh, There we go. Let's get that white paint out of there and get her ready for something else. I use a paper towel. Again, easy for cleanup. Not really sure if that's I'm sure people who are more professional do different things, and that's okay too. It's all about how you want to do things. So I'm going to get a couple of different colors of green and put on my let me shake it well. Let's get that stuff mixed up. Put a couple little dabs. A little dab will do you. You don't need to do a whole lot and waste your paint. Just a little bit. Not sure how we're going to want that to go. Get us a couple little extra colors. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. Ooh, just a little bit there. Getting into my work. I'll go ahead and do a little bit of brown. My idea is to kind of put, that's a little light, is to do a Christmas tree on here. So we're going to see. I was going to do a Christmas tree and inside, but now I think I'm going to do a Christmas tree outside. So I'm just going to have the tree, just kind of blotting my green on there. Get a little brush edges. Kind of see how it's going to go. Not sure if I can do this upside down. Get a little bit more of that green. I'm probably going to blend it some. Trying to give it a little bit of a look like it's an actual tree out in the forest. Just get us a little bit of going. Little strokes there. There we go. Oh, she looks pretty good. Alright. Let's get a little bit of our little tree trunk right here. Go ahead and get him on there. It's a little light color, but that's okay. Got a little darker brown. Let's go ahead and add some darker brown. We can change it up as we're going. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody said we couldn't. That's the fun part of it being your project. Do what makes you happy, what feels good to you, and what looks right to you. Alright, well that's got a little bit of definition to it. Now, let's take it. There we go. It's got us a little bit of a trunk here. I'm just going to bring this on down here a little bit. Blot her on over. We'll see how that works. I don't want to cover it, but see it there a little bit. But you know, my tree doesn't just end 100% right from, a foot up from the bottom, so let's see how that goes. Alright, so we got that. It's looking a little bit like some snow. So let's take a little bit of white, even though we just covered up some white. Let's see if we can just kind of blot it on here a little bit. See if we can make us looking like we got a little snow on the tree. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't work, we'll just paint it back over green and we'll do something else. I was just thinking, since I had the white, that it would look kind of good to have her be a tree out in the woods. So we'll just put some white on here. We'll see how that goes. It's a little bit of tree. A little bit there. Alright, I got a little bit. Let me get a little bit more green back up in there. There we go. Blot it off. There we go. Kind of darken it back up. We got a little bit of snow. We don't want it to, kind of like the way that looked a little wispy there. Don't want to cover that up. Here we go. So that'll work. That'll work. That'll work. Alright. Let's see about doing us a little fence post. What do you think about that? Do a little fence post. So all I'm going to do, take my brown, get this little narrower I'm just going to do a little fence post out here. So we'll see how that, oh, it's kind of a tall fence. Just make us some lines. See what kind of fence that thing's going to be. Get us a little bit there. A little bit more paint. There we go. Got kind of going up there behind the tree. We got a little bit of extra, a little bit of difference on it. It's okay. I'm not too sure that I'm liking that one that I crossed. I think I'd rather have it all go back. So let's just get us some paint and paint over that. And there we go. We're going to change the way that fence row looks. Kind of, sort of. Well, I'm getting my brushes and everything. Get all up in here now. There we go. Got us a little bit. I think that the acrylic really does smooth on there. How's that? That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so too. Alright, so what else do we need? We're doing a tree out in the forest, a farm that's Christmassy. We can go ahead and add us some ornaments to it. So let's get us a little bit, we need some red. Knit us some red ornaments up on that tree. How about some blue? I'm a blue person. Let's do that. Kind of thinking on the fly. Maybe some other good stuff. I'll go ahead with some yellow. We'll see. See if we use that bad boy. I don't know. I don't want it to look like primary color tree. We may just do the red. See how that does. Alright. We'll take a rounded brush. See if that'll help us to do some little balls on the tree. They don't have to be consistent in size. That's looking pretty good. Make sure we kind of have them around a little bit. Spacing things out. I think that rounded brush is helping to give us a little circular in there without really having to work on it. Well, we need to add some other colors because right now she looks like an apple pine tree. Maybe if we just went ahead and did some garland, that would be really pretty. So let's see what we have for that. Going over here to colors and the paints, the pretty stuff. Here's some silver. Well, it's gray. Wonder what that would do. That'd be like silver garland. Hey, we're just working it out while we're doing it. See what that'll do. Not so sure. Let's see. Yeah, kind of blends in a little bit. So, but it's looking a little bit metallic. Guess we can try it and see if we can keep on with it a little bit. Because I really not sure about using the other colors. How much that'll blend. It's kind of blending into our white snow. Well, we'll just see what kind of ideas y'all got. Make it your own. Make it pretty. Or ugly if you want an ugly tree. You know, there are ugly Christmas sweater parties. Maybe you could have an ugly Christmas sweater rock painting party. Or you could just say that's your excuse if it doesn't turn out quite like you're wanting. This kind of looks a little bit like silver. I don't know if you can see it. It looks a little bit like silver garland, but I'm not so sure with that dark red. I think I'm going to try to add something else, but I'm not sure which color I want to go with, folks. With the red. Looking at my colors. I know what we want to do. Red's really pretty much the color of the tree. Let's go ahead and put us a star up there. Well, you know what? I think we need something other than white in the background over here. So how about we take some blues and we try to make us a little bit some sky up in there. I thought about doing a moon and a star like in the sky, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it dark like that. So we'll just see what we're going to do. We need to get us some darker blue. That'll be pretty. Blue is my favorite color, so I end up with blue a little bit more than I should probably. Let's darken this scene on up a little bit. So I'm just putting some blue on there, going to see what happens, see how it ends up. See if we can darken it up a little bit without messing up the tree. Probably a good idea to do your sky first. But I really wanted to just get right onto that tree. So I didn't. That's okay. This is all about painting a rock. This isn't about being perfect and painting a scene. This is about painting a rock and enjoying it. So I'm kind of letting some of the white come through that I had, not making it totally dark. Might have to go back through with the edge of my tree just a little bit because blended over top of the blue since I am getting a little close to it now. That's alright. Get us some darker sky going up in there. Okay, so I went ahead and finished painting the blue. Didn't want to have to, keep you watching me struggle with painting all the blue. So what I did was I went ahead and painted all the blue, and I've also gone back over my fence post and kind of defined the brown of the fence post again, and I've added a little bit of snow on the top since we have a little bit of the snow kind of going along with it. I'm now going to take my brush and go back over the edges of the green of the tree, just kind of blot it and make it kind of lighter. I need to make it lighter is what I'm telling myself here, so it blends with what I had going on. So I'm going back over so I can blend that where I added the blue after the fact. And that'll blend your lines. And just adding a little bit of white to my green just to kind of go ahead and have the edge of it blending with the rest of the tree. Not just suddenly, oh, well, it's all dark again, and because that's not what we did a few minutes ago, making it with the snow. It started. So you always, just allow for blending. Blur them edges, do what you need to do. Get our point back up here. We're going to work on that. Here we go. And it all depends on what direction you take your project, and it can always change as you're in the middle of doing it, which, as you see, mine did kind of changed up a little bit as we were doing this thing, and that's quite all right. So now we have our fence post, we have our dark sky, we have some snow, and we have our tree back blended with our background. Pretty nice. And I've left the snow a little bit on the bottom there with the fence. Let's see what we can do with making us some extra stars. I know it sounds silly. Oh, well, you painted it white and then you painted it blue and now you're kind of flecking it again. Yeah, that's not working out. So that's how you do it. You do, and then it doesn't work, so you just kind of go back over it. Get that back out of there. Don't really want to do the splatter effect for the trying to get some stars in the sky. I don't really want to do that now. That's when you can take your brush and you can just flick it, load it up and just flick it, and it'll make all the really pretty snow over your whole area, and it'll be snow or it could be stars, whatever you're wanting it to be. And that's a really cool technique, but I don't think that that's quite what I'm wanting to do now. So we may just have to let some of that come through. So it's not quite working the way I'm wanting it to. I don't really know if this brush will be... Yeah, okay. Alright, so I'm moving to a smaller brush here, and I'm just going to take the time to just kind of dot some little snow around. Just a little bit, just to give us a little bit of snow coming down. Without making it very big. Don't want to have just a lot of big dots on here. And I guess we're going to need a little bit of snow in front of our tree too, because it's not just snowing in the background, it's snowing in front of our tree also. So we got us some little snowflakes going on. Let's make us a pretty star up on the top of our beautiful tree. Alright, let's see if we can do a little yellow here. Just gonna go up on the top of that tree and just try to do us a little star. There we go. Let's get her a little bit darker, a little bit brighter yellow. Well, that'll work. That'll get us a little tree up there. There we go. So now we have us a little Christmas scene with our tree. We've got some snow. We've got us a little fence because our tree's outside, out in the beautiful woods. We've got our little garland on. What I'm going to need to do is, in order to seal this, I'll use acrylic sealer. And any brand, I do not have a particular brand that I use. This is just what I have on hand now, just acrylic spray sealer. I think that works a lot easier. Some people use Mod Podge. I've done that. That works fine too. You just have to be very careful if you're using a brush in Mod Podge that you've made sure that your project is good and dry before you use it, and you have to really watch, because you can get when you're having to use a brush or something to apply it to your project, you can get those brush strokes in there, and then that's in your finished product. You can see that. That's one reason I like the spray, because you really don't have to worry about that type of thing. So usually I let my project dry for about an hour or so, and then we'll come back and we'll spray it with sealer to give it that really pretty shine and to protect it so that we can have our project for a long time. I actually belong to several of the Kindness Rocks project groups where we paint and hide rocks. And so the acrylic sealer really helps when you're hiding rocks and somebody doesn't find it for a week after you've had a bunch of rain. Then your picture that you painted on there is just gorgeous. It's protected, it's sealed, and that rock can be passed around and enjoyed for many more people, many more groups in a longer period of time without you having to worry about your paint wearing off. So we're going to let this dry, and if you get a little impatient, you can use the hair dryer. Just don't get it, real close to where you get it too overheated. But you can do that. You can spray it with a hair dryer. That'll get it dry quicker, and then you're able to let it cool down because it will get a little bit warm. Your rock will get a little heated from using the hair dryer. Let it cool down, and then go to a very well ventilated area. I usually go out on my porch and spray your sealer. And then let that dry. You can do a second coat if you like, a really high gloss shine. That's entirely up to you. So let's let this thing dry, and we will see what we need to do on sealing her. Okay. We're back. I went ahead and let my project dry, and then I went ahead and took it outside and sprayed the rock. I don't know if you can see the extra sheen on it now. Uh, got a really nice, pretty little gloss on it, and now it's protected, and it's gonna hopefully be a really pretty Christmas decoration for many years to come. Any project that you do, it comes from you. It comes from your heart. Doesn't have to be perfect. As you see, I started with one idea in mind, and I went in a totally different direction, and I had to fix some stuff. And that's the way it is. That's the way life is, and that's the way art is. As long as it's coming from you and it's making you happy, oh honey, that is all that counts. It is yours. Make it your own. Own your project. Own your art. Whether it's on a canvas or whether it's on a rock, it is art and it is yours and it is from your creation and your imagination. Whether you dream it up or you have to look at a picture to make it up, that's okay. Again, it's coming from you. So I hope that you enjoyed Making Monday. We're doing a little bit of rock creating, getting in the Christmas spirit. If you try to do a Christmas rock, please post pictures so that I can see what your creations look like and how much fun you had with your stuff. And if you haven't joined a Kindness Rocks group, a rock hunting group, painting and hiding group, then please find one in your area. They are everywhere. It is so much fun. I totally encourage it. Just being a part of this community, it's so much fun. So if you don't mind liking and subscribing, leaving comments, leaving your post, leaving beautiful pictures of your wonderful creations. I really do want to see them. I want to see what you come up with. Hopefully this has inspired you to do something, and also letting you know life is real, and so is art. So is anything you go to do. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be 100% because we're not all professionals. We are just real people keeping it real, doing what we want to do and what we like to do from our heart. So I hope that you have a good time with it, and I really do want to see what you come up with. So just let me know. Just put pictures in the comments, and we will catch you on the next Making Monday.